Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. I'm so glad that you've joined me for my third video. My name is Nicole Hinkle and I am so glad that you've decided to come back. And if you would, please consider subscribing. I am trying so hard to get to my 1,000 subscriber goal. It would mean the world to me if you would decide to join our little family. And before I get into the case, I want to give a shout out to Becky Shears. She is one of my best friends. She came up with the winning name. Woohoo! Go girl! Woohoo! Go Becky! Woo! You came up with the winning name. She came up with a very creative name. I love it. It's called Dark Secrets. Today's case is about the 2018 murder of Chris Watts' family. Shanann Watts, Bella and Celeste Watts, which were her two daughters, and Shanann's unborn child, Nico. And how he committed familicide, which means the murder of your entire family. And I am so sorry, guys. You're going to hear my daughter singing Frozen in the background probably next to the whole time, so I apologize for that, but life does go on and I have to record this video and get this out to you guys, so sorry. Now this case has captivated the nation and a lot of people just couldn't wrap their heads around it. In fact, people are still talking about it to this day. It is a very unusual case because they look like the all-American family, and I think that scares a lot of people because Chris just doesn't look like the average bad guy. But the average bad guy doesn't look like a bad guy, and I think that's what scares most people. So let's jump right in. This happened in Frederick, Colorado. Let's start from the beginning. Shanann was from, and I'm sorry if I butchered this, Passaic, New Jersey. She was born on January 10th, 1984, to her parents, Frank and Sandra Ruzek. She also had a little brother, and his name was Frankie. Now, fast forward, when Shanann became older, she got a job at this tire and wheel business. It's called Dirty South. People say that Shanann was a very hard worker and a go-getter. Her family didn't come from money, but she worked her butt off, and by the age of 25, she eventually built her own house. But before we get into that, when Shanann was in high school, she met her future husband, and his name was Leonard King. Now, a lot of people talk a lot of crap about her, and I just want to tell people they need to hold up because at 25 years old and you're building a house, especially at the end of the recession, that's saying a lot. Building any house is impressive. And this wasn't no small house either. This was an estimated 4,000 square foot home, and it is valued at around $500,000. Eventually, her and Leonard, they split up, and I believe the home had to be sold as a result of the divorce. If anyone knows for sure, can you please comment below? It might be somewhere in the 2,000 page discovery and I just couldn't find it. Chris Lee Watts was born on May 16th, 1985 in Spring Lake, North Carolina, to his parents Cindy and Ronnie Watt. He also has a sister. They say that Chris was a very mild and respectable child, that he never got upset and he always listened to his mother. He was extremely gifted with automotives, and he was also a very talented athlete. In 2010, Chris Watts sent Shanann a friend request on Facebook. And Shanann said, "What the heck, I'll probably never meet this guy," so she accepts.
Hey everybody, say hi. Say hi.
Oh.
You don't want to say hi?
Careful, Cece, there's a table there.
She is a hot mess. You have to take a leap of faith in yourself. No matter what it is in life, like take that leap of faith and know that you can do whatever you want to do. I was in a really, really, really bad place. And I got a friend request from Chris on Facebook. And I was like, oh, what the heck? I'm never going to meet him. Except one thing led to another. And 8 years later, We have 2 kids. We live in Colorado, and he's the best thing that has ever happened to me. And because of my health challenges, because I got so sick, I let him in. And he only knew me at that time. He knew me at my worst, and he accepted me.
Like she explains, one thing led to another. They went out on some dates, and Shanann explains how she put Chris through the ringer, and eventually they decided they want to get married. On November 3rd, 2012, Shanann and Chris were married in Charlotte, North Carolina, and it was a beautiful wedding. One day they decided that they were going to Colorado to visit some friends, and when Shanann and Chris were out there, they decided that they just loved the place. And Colorado truly is a beautiful state. I'll show you guys. I'm going to insert some pictures here. Just look at that beauty. It is gorgeous out there, and I can see why they did fall in love with the place. So they decided they're going to build a home there in Frederick, Colorado. Now, while their home was being built, Shanann and Chris moved in with a friend. After their house was finally built, they move in and they get to work on having a family. Shanann suffered from lupus and a couple other disorders. That made it hard for her to get pregnant. She went and had fertility treatments done. Eventually, her and Chris were blessed with 2 daughters, Bella Marie and Celeste Catherine. Chris gets a job at Andargo Petroleum, and Shanann starts to work for a MLM called Lavelle, and they sell health-based products called Thrive. Thrive is a nutritional program. It's shakes and nutritional patches and things that make you feel good. I take Thrive and I personally love it. I can see why Shanann wanted to be a part of the company. I am a part of that company as well. I wouldn't feel right trying to sell any products just out of respect for the family. Thrive, or Lavelle, those of you that don't know what an MLM is, it's a multi-level marketing, and basically what you do is you go out and you find people, and the more people that you get underneath you, the more money you make. And essentially you make like a pyramid, and Shanann excelled at this. She was making around $60,000 to $80,000 a year. She made just as much money as what Chris did, if not more. Now, in order to sell these products, a lot of people don't understand, but you have to promote these products, which means you have to be on social media. You have to be on social media promoting and showing how the product works. And a lot of people were down on her for always being on social media, which people don't understand. This is just what comes with the job territory. And for people to run her down for trying to support her family is sick. Those of you that hate on her for that, shame on you. You guys, I swear, I have had to re-record this video. This is my 4th time. I've had a lot of YouTubers say that there's something about this case that has just been extremely creepy, and they experienced some weird things too. And I guess this is the weirdness that I'm experiencing because, like I said, this is my 4th time recording this. I have to go and save the video every 1 to 2 minutes. If not, I have to completely redo it. And it is driving me insane. But I am determined to finish this video for you guys. Stay away, demon. God will help me finish this video. Anyways, back to the case. On June 11th, 2018, Shanann surprises Chris with an announcement.
We did it again. I like that shirt. So pink means...
That's just the test.
I know. It just says the pink is going to be girls.
I don't know. Just the test.
That's awesome. Guess Guess when you want to, it happens.
Guess what, girls? Mommy has a baby in her belly. Are you guys excited? Yes? Are you really excited? Oh my goodness. Come give me hugs. Oh. I love you, girl.
I got the baby a hug.
You want to give the baby a hug? I love you, Bella. You're so sweet. Give me a kiss.
That's right, guys. She is pregnant with baby number 3, which they later find out is a little boy, and Shanann decides to name him Nicole Watts. A few days later, Shanann decides that her and the girls are going to go to North Carolina to visit her parents and her in-laws. Chris stays behind because he has to work and he is going to take care of the house. Now they're going for a 6-week stay. That is a long time to be separated from your significant other. I understand that there are responsibilities and sometimes people have to work, but it would suck. But thankfully, he was able to arrange some vacation time, so he was going to be able to join Shanann and the girls the last week of their vacation in North Carolina. After Shanann and the girls leave, Chris ends up walking into the office at work, and there he meets this girl named Nicole Kessinger. People around them said that they noticed sparks between them, and they started flirting and exchanging emails. One thing led to another, and they did start to have an affair. And with Shanann gone, that gave Chris the ultimate freedom to be able to go and see this girl as much as he wanted. Basically, Chris got to be a little slut bag. Chris later explained that him and Nicole did move entirely way too fast, that it was a relationship built on lust and extreme attraction, how they up to 5 times a day. But Shanann wasn't no dummy. She started to realize that something was up with her husband right away. She would call over and over and over, text over and over and over, and don't underestimate us girlfriends, wives, because we know. Don't play us for a fool. We know when you men are being skis balls. Shanann was starting to get that sick feeling in her gut that Chris was up to something. One day she gets an alert on her phone. It was a transaction for a restaurant. The amount that Chris spent, even if Chris drank several beers or whatever, it still didn't add up to the amount that he explained to her. So that was another red flag. He was also giving her all these bullshit excuses as to why he wasn't getting back to her. Shanann eventually broke down to friends and family about how her husband didn't want to talk to her, and she was extremely upset. And then Chris dropped another bombshell on her. He told her that he did not want the 3rd baby, that he only wanted the girls. Hey, I mean, the baby's on its way. When you make that decision, you're committed for life. Shanann would try repeatedly to get attention from Chris. She even posted this heartbreaking poem by Bella, and it is just the sweetest thing.
My daddy is a hero. He helps me grow up strong. He helped me snuggle too. He reads me books. He ties my shoes. If you're a hero, blue and blue, my daddy, I love you.
Oh, I love
There it did it again, guys. 2 more times. This camera has shut off. I'm telling you, wow. I will be so thankful to wrap up this case, get it posted, and move on, because this is just way too much for me. Scary. Anyways, on July 31st, 2018, Chris eventually joins Shanann in North Carolina. While they were there, Shanann, the girls, and Chris attended the beach, and this was the girls' first time ever being to the ocean, and they loved it. While they're there, Shanann tries to connect with Chris, but he is just so distant from her. He was even acting weird with the girls. And everybody thought that was so odd because he was always the best father. A week later, the Watts family eventually returned home to Colorado. This brings us to August 13th, 2018. At 1:48 a.m., Nicole Atkinson, now this is a different Nicole. This is Shanann's work colleague. Nicole Atkinson is Shanann's friend. Nicole Kessinger is the mistress. Okay, I just wanted to clarify that. At 1:48 a.m., Nicole Atkinson, Shanann's friend, drops Shanann off at her house after a business trip. This was after the family got back from North Carolina. Shanann left again. The girls stayed with Chris. Hope I'm making this make sense. We know that Shanann did get home at 1:48 a.m. because she was caught on their door camera. This camera catches footage of anyone that steps near the front porch. It automatically cuts on and starts to record. Oops, sorry, camera. Now, no one knows what happens within the next couple hours for sure. We just go by what Chris has told authorities. Now, the next morning, Nicole Atkinson tries over and over to get in contact with Shanann. Nicole knows that Shanann had a OBGYN appointment for baby Nico. Baby Nico had, I believe it was a heart murmur. So she knew that there was no way that Shanann would have missed this appointment at 9. Nicole also explained how Shanann texted her every morning. She constantly wanted to talk about business and push. So for her to not answer, not just Nicole, her best friend, her colleague, but Shanann didn't answer anyone. Plus, she didn't post on social media that morning either. As the day passes and she doesn't hear from Shanann, she calls the doctor's office and says, look, I know you're not supposed to tell me, but would you please just tell me if Shanann Watts made it into her OBGYN appointment this morning? The doctor office eventually tells Nicole Atkinson that no, Shanann had not shown up for her appointments, and immediately Nicole knew something was wrong. So her and her son rushed over to Shanann and Chris's house. On the way there, Nicole called Chris and said, do you know where your wife is? And Chris acted real shady about it, and he answered her very vaguely. He said, oh, Shanann this morning told me after our emotional conversation that she was going to take the girls and go on a play date. And Nicole was like, what play date? And Chris was like, don't worry, I am coming home. Hangs up. So Nicole and her son get over to Chris and Shanann's house, and they start looking in the windows. Chris sees that Nicole's at their house. So he calls Nicole. Hey, what are you doing at my house? Nicole said, I'm checking on your wife. And he asked her to leave their property. Well, Nicole wasn't having it. And I know how persistent most Nicoles are. But anyways, Nicole and her son are looking around. They peek in the windows and they see Shanann's shoes that she wears every day was there by the door. Nicole's son peeked in the garage and saw Shanann's white Lexus SUV sitting in the garage, and the car seats were still in the back seat. So immediately she knew that something was wrong, because Shanann, being the type of mother she is, would never take her girls anywhere without their car seats. So she calls the police.
County Communications, this is Stacy.
Hi, Stacey. My name's Nicole, and I'm calling because I'm concerned about a friend of mine. I dropped her off at her house at 2 in the morning last night because we were out of town together, and we were on the way back from the airport, and she was having issues, and she's pregnant, and I haven't been able to get a hold of her this morning, and I've gone to her house, and her car's there, and stuff like that, but she won't answer the door, she won't answer phone calls, she won't answer text messages, and I'm just really, really concerned. And she had a doctor's appointment this morning, and she didn't go to it, and I don't know what to do. I've called him and talked to him, and he said that
she went on a play date with her other 2 daughters, but, like, if she went on a play date, they're both in car seats. Why would she not take her car?
Perfectly understandable. Do you happen to know her address, Nicole?
I'm asking Shanann outside her house. It's 2825 Saratoga Trail in Frederick. The shoes she wears every single day are right inside her door. And he was like, yeah, I'll be there in 3 minutes. Well, that was 45 minutes ago.
Okay, Nicole, tell me exactly what happened.
So we were out of town for work, and we flew in last night. Our flight got delayed, and I dropped her off at her house at 2 in the morning. She's 15 weeks pregnant, and she wasn't feeling well over the weekend, and she was very, like, distraught and out of the sorts because her and her husband are having issues. So she was concerned because she wasn't, like, eating or drinking and stuff like that. So then this morning I was like, let me know if you need me to take you to your doctor's appointment because you're not feeling well. And I have called and texted. I've come to her house. She's not answering the door. She's not responding to text messages, phone calls. I've had other friends reach out to her. None of us can get her to respond to us. They have 2 little girls that are 3 and 4. I mean, there's no movement in the house whatsoever. And he states that she didn't take them to daycare and was going to go on a play date. But they're both in car seats, and her car is here.
What's her name?
It's in the garage. I'm like, well, huh?
What's her name?
Shanann Watts.
While Nicole is waiting on the police to arrive, she goes up to the door that has a code and she tries to enter the code. She knows the code to the front door, but there's a child lock at the top and it's flipped and she couldn't get in. So they go back out to the driveway and they wait for Officer Coonrad to arrive. I am truly amazed by the resiliency of Nicole. She is an amazing friend, and everybody needs a friend like Nicole Atkinson. You should always follow your gut.
Scott, how you doing? How's it going? So this is the only vehicle she would have?
Only one that, yeah.
She would drive? Okay.
The neighbors went and checked his camera and said that a white car drove away at 1. It was me though. That was me. I dropped her off.
That was the last accident on my camera.
Okay. That's throughout the whole day, or?
Besides Chris leaving?
Well, yeah.
Nikki, I'll give you permission to walk to my daughter's house.
Mind if I come in, Chris? Okay. You checked upstairs? She's not there? I just want to make sure she's not passed out somewhere. Is she diabetic? You mind if I look around?
Go ahead.
Okay, thanks. Oh, you're fine.
Outside.
Oh, you're fine. Good for her. I'm checking the house for consent.
Down the phone.
Oh. Well, shoot. Any friends she would be hanging out with?
I mean,
I know, I guess her
Amanda,
Her parents are out of state.
Across country, North Carolina.
Oh.
Yeah, so that's not happening. All the girls Blanky are gone. They're Blanky they sleep with, they don't leave anywhere without them.
Good. Nothing else appears to be missing though, just stuff you'd take for a quick trip. Does she work?
Yeah, she works from home.
Oh, from home?
She works this is her lifeline.
Were you able to pull up the video at the 1210? See, was it front door?
1210, that was Nikki.
That was you?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it was beeping at me out the field.
Tell him I'll be there in just a minute. What's that?
Nothing on there. My camera. Lay down.
Loaded my stuff up in my coolers, my water jugs, my book bag, my computers, some of the tools that I had from the toolbox. I knew I was going to have to do some pumping unit rubbers today. That's why I was out so far.
Is this on continually
Yep.
recording?
Yep. Well,
It's not, is it
any
motion or is it?
event,
Okay, so it's motion.
Any motion event that happens, but I get cars driving from this street. This is him at 517.
Usually park out there on the side. I just want to get everything back in. Be easier, so lugging everything out there, all the tools that I had to bring in.
My detective just showed up, so he'll probably want to talk to you. He'd probably, like I said, he might have you call at the bank and see if there's any kind of activity.
Because if there is any sort of action out
I
there,
know his camera's
I would have got it.
like, thanks.
Hopefully something comes up here.
If you just want to go talk to him, I'm going to get his info real quick. No. Right.
As you could see in the police video, and I did cut it down because it was an extremely long video and there was no way I could have fit the entirety in this unless I wanted to make this video 100 hours long. But you could see in the video that Chris acted very weird. Like he sat around, pranced like this, constantly looking at his phone, wasn't making suggestions. Also, when Officer Coonrod went over to Chris's neighbor Nate and he was reviewing his security camera footage, even Nate comments that it is unusual for Chris to pull his work truck into the garage. So remember this as we get towards the end of the video. And there was no sign of Celeste, Bella, or